Just a minute. Okay, so we have said that it is a legal concept that separates the personality of the company from the personality of the shareholders, such that the shareholders and directors are not held personally liable for the debts and obligations of the company, full stop. However, there are instances that can make the shareholders, to be held personally liable. When this happens, When this happens, the veil is said to have been lifted. The veil is said to have been lifted. First of all, lifting can occur. Lifting can occur by courts or by statutes. By courts or by statutes. Okay, so what we are saying here, you remember when we discussed about characteristics of companies. We said that the company is an independent person. It has a legal personality, which makes it distinct from the owners. And then we also talked about limited liability, whose implication is that the shareholders cannot be held personally liable for the debts and the obligations of the company. The implication or the meaning of that is that when you form a company, you are kind of covered from the visibility of those who deal in the company. They do not know who they are dealing with. That's why we talk of the veil. The veil is like a curtain. A very good example is Destiny. You people, you are doing business with Destiny Technical Training Institute Limited. And that's why you paid money to them. And the money you paid to the account called Destiny Technical Training Institute. So who is Destiny? Lili Panani. Do you think Destiny is people who are managing it? Do you think it's owners? But we don't know who they are. So because of this legal concept, wenyewe wamefichwa. Kati yako na mwenyewe kumewekwa kati. Sasa wewe hujui mwenyewe ni nani? Wewe unajua tu au kunilipa mimi, so I'm the one teaching you. Mimi nimeajiriwa na Destiny nikufunze. So in case there is anything wrong, utaendea nani? Afura, utaendea nani? Destiny ni nani? One of the characters tulisema, a company is invisible, is intouchable. Destiny iko wapi? Destiny ni nani? So that is what that's what we are saying. But now there are instances in which the courts can come in and say, "Watch out for your country." And that's what now we want to look at. So when your country imefunguliwa, we say the veil has been lifted. Kwa Kiingereza kingine wanasema it has been pierced. Umetobolewa mashimo. Unaweza chungulia sasa huko ndani uone nikinaanza hapo. So let's look at lifting by the courts. Lifting by the courts. Lifting by the court. Right. The veil can be lifted under the following circumstances. The veil can be lifted under the following circumstances. A, determination of character. Determination of character. Determination of character, especially in times of war. Especially in times of war. Especially in times of war. Number two, where the company is a scam. Where the company is a scam, incorporated for illegal, or improper purposes. Illegal or improper purposes of misleading the investors. Of misleading the investors. Or misleading the investors. C, where the company is acting as an agent of the shareholders. Where the company is acting as an agent of the shareholders. Even if there is 100%, even if there is 100% ownership, 100% ownership of the subsidiary company. Of the subsidiary company. Number 4, protection of taxes. Protection of taxes payable to government. Protection of taxes payable to government. So those are some of the reasons why the courts will come in and lift the veil. And number 1, tunasema determination of character. And this one happens when there is war. Like right now, we have a war between Russia and who? And Ukraine. Those who follow football, there is a team called Chelsea. Who is the owner of Chelsea? He's a citizen of which country? Ukraine or Russia? Russia. What happened to him when the war came up? He was sacked, or he was forced by Britain to sell the company. Yes, because Britain is a friend to Ukraine. And when Russia are beating, in quote, are beating Ukraine, then Britain had to sympathize. So akasema nyinyi sababu marafiki zenu ndio your country ndio inachapa marafiki zetu, hata nyinyi mtoke kwetu. So this guy had to sell the company, or he had to make some arrangements. So when the country is at war, maadui wanaweza kuja wajifiche kwa a local company and they start working on you. So if that is suspected, the other thing is when the company is formed as a scam, it is not genuine. The purpose is just to con people, it's just to mislead, it's just to defraud people. When that happens, then we need to know who are the fellows behind it. A very good point is these pyramid schemes. Remember the pyramid schemes? Watu walitoa pesa wakalipa, then ina collapse. Hata most of these run by companies. Unaona zinakuja, watu wanaambiwa hapa kuna mashamba, kuna manyumba, watu wanalipa millions. The latest ni gani? They said kuna Central wako parliament. I don't want to say they are scam for very honest perspective. But what we are saying is, if the company has been formed to mislead, or what is happening to most of you in online, unalipa classes za online, pesa inakunywa maji. Unatuma pesa ya kutumiwa notes, inakunywa maji. So ni mtu tu ameform kampuni ama kakitu as a scam. They are not interested in genuine business, or they are on one. The other one is where the company is acting as an agent. The law says a company cannot act as an agent of another company, even if you are a holding company and you own 100%. And finally, if you have not been paying taxes, like what we have seen with very many companies, would be interested to know ni nani huyu halipi tax. Actually, when you hear of these tax issues, like kama hii ilikuwa ya this fellow from Thika, that they have not paid like was it 40 billion? So if it's that amount hajalipa tax, kwani ni nani? Na wewe unajua yako ya pay kidogo tu ikichelewa na si mingi, even 2, 3, 5,000. Mama boga pale asipolipa 50 billion pia wanapelekwa, but here someone has 40 billion and paid taxes. So you want to know huyo ni nani. So those are the 4 reasons why the court may lift. Number 2 is lifting by statutes. Lifting by statutes. Okay. Lifting by statutes. Number 1, membership has fallen below. Membership has fallen below the minimum number required. Membership has fallen below the minimum number required and the remaining directors continue to do business for a period greater than 6 months. Number 2, failure to disclose. The name of the company. On the seal, letters, negotiable instruments, other documents, when dealing with third parties. Number 3, investigation of company affairs. Number 4, investigation of company membership. To determine the true persons who have financial financial and controlling interests. Financial and controlling interest. Another one is sending members. Sending members. Sending members. Seeking to know. Seeking to know owners of the company. Owners of the company during a hostile takeover. Hostile takeover bid. A hostile takeover bid. Hostile takeover bid. Another one. Fraudulent trading. Fraudulent trading. Fraudulent trading. During a winding up process. During a winding up process. Next is misrepresentation of a prospectus. Misrepresentation. Misrepresentation of a prospectus. Another one is liability of Ultra Vires Act. Liability of Ultra Vires Act. So those are the 8 instances that can make the directors or the shareholders to be held personally liable by statutes. Number 1, it is when membership has fallen below. Remember we said for a public limited company, the minimum number of members are 7. And for private, the minimum is what? 2. And one of the characters that we discussed last time is that a company has perpetual succession, which means new members can join and the old members can exit. In the event that old members have exited, and for the private to mebakishiwa moja, and for the public to mebakishiwa 6 or less, and these fellows who have remained, they continue doing business for more than 6 months without making effort to bring in new members to satisfy the minimum requirement. Any business they do, they will be held personally liable. Number 2 is if you fail to disclose your name in any correspondence you have with third parties, and any third party suffers a loss without knowing your name, you will still be called upon to compensate them. Any correspondence, you see, even in a book like this one for testing, it must clearly show our name. It should even show the location. Yeah. So that tukikuuzia hii kitabu uende upate si nzuri, you can be able to know nani amekuuzia, where can you get us. Anything we do, including the timetables zenye tunatumanga kwa WhatsApp, including the handouts, they bear our name. ukipigiwa muhuri hapa, ukipewa any document, it must have our name. Now, failure to disclose the name will make whoever is responsible to be held personally personally liable. The other one is when we want to investigate the affairs of the company. The registrar can appoint someone to come and investigate the affairs, including the books of accounts. So when that happens, then the veil of incorporation is lifted. They have to get all the information. The other thing is we want to know the true membership. You know, people are very smart. They will use others to form a company, but they exercise influence and they benefit financially. A case in point was the KEMSA scandal. If you followed, the persons when they were in parliament, they were to they are not influential. Actually, there is a guy who said they alikuwa anapita tu hapo KEMSA, akaona kuna kikundi cha watu, akauliza ni nini is happening, akaambiwa kuna tenda, akaenda na akapray, akapata au onazi. Uone kuna watu pale, wende uapply na upate. That tells you there are people who are behind that company. You remember the days of Kafura, with the days of NYS. Kafura, who was, without due respect, a salonist, I think a house girl at one point, would go to the bank and withdraw money in terms of millions. When nasemekana walikuwa wanabeba na magunia, zinawekwa basement ya bank, inawekwa kwa buti ya gari. Huyo msichana au huyo mama, including the greeters, walikuwa wamepata hiyo access wapi? There were some fellows who are behind it. So we want to know the true members. Ukiangalia kwa politicians, like now hii chama inatutawala, who is the chairman? Who is the chairman of UDA? Bama. Lakini hiyo chama ni ya mwana. Ya nani? So you know. Lakini mwenye tunajua jina yake haiko hapo. Ile ukiangalia chairman ni but Muthama is maybe not the one financing. He's not the one making what? So we may naweza pika mahali kwa Muthama kaka. Let us know who is the fellow behind it. The other thing is the dissenting members. There are times the company may experience what we call hostile takeover. And these at times could be malicious. For example, you have formed a company, 10 of you, and the business is doing well. The prospects appear very promising. Then some two fellows, out of greed, they decide to form an with the intention of picking out the others 8 business. So what they do, they form company B, alafu company B inakuja inafanya kitu inaitwa hostile takeover. Unanyakuliwa kwa nguvu. And when they do the hostile takeover, the members of this one, they are reduced to minority. Some of them can even be kicked out. So, and when this company B comes to make the offer, hawa majamaa wawili mkiwa kwa mkutano mkiwa 10, they will be supporting the agenda. Wewe unafikiria they are just supporting, kumbe ni wao wako kwenye hii kampuni. So when these 8 feel like something is not going right, they may write to the registrar. Waambiwe mkina nani who are owners of as a kujua your fellows walikuwa wanataka kuchukua hiyo. So in the event of a hostile takeover,